is JrippyCactuar again, and we are back, but this time we are back with a different type of video. I have Damien here. He is actually an aspiring creator. He wants to be a creator as well one day, and he generously asked me if he could have an interview with me, which I absolutely love that idea. I always tell you guys all the time that I love when people reach out to me and speak to me, so on and so forth. So I'm super excited to have this situation. So, hey, Damien.
All right. So first things first, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I've been I've been waiting to do this for a while now. Like you are such an inspiring creator.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
This map in particular that we're going in happens to be one of my favorites.
Aww. Well, I appreciate that. Even if it, means that only one person, likes it, it really means a lot. I put a lot into this map, just as far as just kind of showing my personality, so on and so forth. So that makes me happy to know that.
Hello.
Hello. So, just tell me where you want to go, or this is kind of like your whole.
So this is I wanted to ask about, first things first. What inspired you to make this map?
So the whole concept of the map for me was just I'm a really big roleplay person. I love going into roleplay maps, so on and so forth. And I really enjoyed that there were so many different themes to it. I had went into a world, I believe, that was called like Room Simulator. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about that world, and it kind of started there because it went from seeing stuff like that to me being like, you know what, I want to make something like different. Like I want to expand off of that and just do like more. And so for me, it was more so of how do I feel on a personal level when I'm getting home? Like I'm really quirky, I'm really goofy, like all these things, I want to have the idea and like the, active imagination that I'm coming home. I'm either going to do like one of 10 things. I'm going to go in the living room, sit down and chill, watch TV. I'm going to play video games. I'm going to go to sleep, have a nightmare or a dream or something like that. I'm going to go outside. Like there's so many things that I was thinking about when making this map to just kind of make it my own and put my own personality into it. And then, of course, based off of what I had seen before, I didn't want to make anything that was like, oh, it's just one room or like, a couple of things here and there or just kind of like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I wanted more to it. And so I wanted to make it hidden and adventurous, so on and so forth. That's pretty much what came out of it, was just taking something that I like and that I was into, which was roleplay, and turning it into this drippy land, I guess you could say.
Yes, this map is breathtakingly it's the word that I kind of think about when I think of this map is quirky, and I relate to that so much because I've always been so quirky all my life, and this map just screams me. Now, undersea battle time. I have so many questions. Was there something that
yes.
traumatic that happened in the bathtub? Did you
No. Okay.
fight monsters?
So this comes from when I was really little. When I was younger, obviously I really liked taking baths and stuff. My mom, she would bathe me when I was a baby all the way up until I was like maybe 4 or something. You know what I mean? Like I was really little. But when I finally got to a point where I could bathe myself, when I was little, I would again have this crazy active imagination, and I would just take, my bath toys and all of that, and I would literally just make a world of my own. Like I would act like I'm a pirate or something, and act like I'm, fighting the freaking, what's that shark called? The megalodon or whatever, under the water.
Yes.
Or I would create all of these crazy scenarios. So it was just, and that would only, appear in my head when I was taking a bath. So that's where that idea came from, was, when you go into the bathroom and you see the bathtub, you're not just taking a bath, you're just kind of you're going into a whole different universe in your head. And even like if you're not a kid, like when you're an adult, you get lost in the bathtub. Like if you take a bath, it's been a rough day, your bones are aching because of work or something like that. Like you just kind of, you're not there for a minute, you know what I mean? So that's where that came from.
Was there like a point? Was there like a point when you were, like a particular like memory that you have, like could be like based off of this, like for instance, like
Uh-huh.
was there a point in the pirate where you were thinking about being a pirate? Was there a point where the pirates, went underwater? Like, could that be based off of like?
So where this comes from, like, because this portion of the map, obviously, I go into the map all the time, and I like, will make updates and changes to it because it didn't always look like this with the camera angles and everything. This particular part of it now, the way it looks, I had a moment when I was younger where I was like make believing that I was just casually taking a bath, and then all of a sudden these monsters, like these fish people, like poked their hands and like their head out of the bathtub, and they drug me into the water, and they were like little like fish zombies, and I had to fight them to try to escape and get back to the surface. That's literally where this comes from.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's weird, but it that's where it came from.
I mean, you know what? It led to something. It led to something beautiful in the end. So you know what? It's much better. It's much better than the bath times I've had. I've had my action figures. I've had my action figures like play a pool of this
Yeah.
and that. So I don't know how to get out of this area. I
Oh,
mean,
so what you do is
don't
you
want
just go
to,
back.
but
Yeah, you see it where it says go back home. Yeah, just
yeah.
I tried
Okay.
to make it to where you could see it a little bit better with the arrows.
Now, this part. Now, I
Okay.
have a question. If you had an office like this, like if you could ever get a chance to, right? Would
Yeah.
you have it like this? Like, would it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Like, are you talking about like the painting, like the walls, and like just the little area in general?
Yes, exact.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if it was like a replica, yeah.
Yes, 100%. Everything in this house I would have 100%, especially the sunflower like walls, you know what I mean? Obviously I wouldn't have put that everywhere in this map, but I definitely love that, and I loved it being in the living room because first of all, sunflower is my favorite flower, and my favorite color excuse me, my voice, losing my voice there. But anyway, my favorite color is yellow, and my favorite flower is a sunflower. So it's just anything that was just a representation of being bright and like being positive, I was definitely gonna have. That's why the floor has got like flowers too, so on and so forth. So yeah, I would love for everything in this map to look like something in real life for me.
one one day, if I could afford, I would definitely replicate a house after this. Now,
Oh.
is there a story about this office? Like, was it inspired by something in particular?
So before I lived in the place that I live in now, I lived in a very small, like, apartment like setting, so I didn't have like the room to like kind of have my own little corner, like my own little area to myself. Now obviously I do now, but at the time I didn't. When I first started this map, I was living, in my old place, so it was just nice to kind of give the illusion that I have my own little corner to duck away in and like work, because I also, in real life work from home, so I always want like the little office space, so on and so forth. So that's where that came from. And then of course I thought it was really cute when the seasons had started, when Lego started. So, me, of course, it kind of goes back also, and it works too with me. When I'm in my office or when I'm working on something, there are so many things that go on in my head, legitimately. Like, I will think about everything and nothing at all. Like, there was this meme video I saw of my two favorite anime characters from this sports anime called Haikyuu, and one of the characters, he walked into the room and he started dancing, and he was like, "It's the final brain cell." Do-do-do-do." And that's me. So like when I'm working or I'm doing something, even creating, when I'm in the zone of doing something, my head and my brain will do some crazy stuff and it'll just shift from one thing to the next. So I'm like imagining myself like doing stuff like this at work, and then all of a sudden, okay, there's dancing Lego people, cool. Like like it's just goofy stuff. So that's where that came from.
Oh, now this area too. This area,
Okay, do you want to
Ready
go
Player
into it
One.
or okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
so
this one,
yeah. So this
this one I
place, oh, I'm
love
sorry.
this. I there's
Thank
like
you.
there's like not even a word to describe this place. It's like it's everything.
Thank you so much. So, to go with this world, again, one of the things that I do, obviously when I go home or come home or just am taking a break from work or anything, is I love to play video games. That's a given. And I love how do I explain this in a way that makes sense? I love what happens to my head when I'm doing things that I love, because when I'm gaming, I'm not, in reality anymore. Like I take myself into like a different, headspace, and I just forget about everything around me, which, for me personally, that's good. I mean, everyone can agree. I would hope that there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world that's like really bad. And sometimes having that escape is just what people need. Like, you just get to kind of have a moment of fun if you so choose. Because I know people can get really mad while gaming, but when you so choose, gaming is an escape. And I also gave it the name Ready Player One because I love that concept. That's a very good movie, by the way. If no one has watched it, I suggest you watch Ready Player One. But Ready Player One has that concept of, the whole virtual reality to the extreme. Like you hook yourself up, put gear on, all that, and you're literally diving into just a world, like a video game, a virtual reality. And so that's kind of where this came from in general, because when I'm gaming, I'm playing Fortnite, I'm playing something, I'm shooting people, I'm eliminating, like, we're in here. So I just gave it this, I got the idea that way, and then I created this as like a fighting area. Also, because in a role playing map, most of the time there's not a lot of things that you can technically do unless you really do like role play like that, and I do, and a lot of people do. But I wanted to make sure that there was no boredom when it came to being in my map. So, if you want to role play and chill out and do whatever you can, but if you get bored and you're like, man, I want to shoot some people, or I want to do something, this is one of those areas where you can do that. It gives you something to do.
It's this part is like the aesthetic, everything. Like I love what is the word that you'd like to describe, like virtual. I love like
The like
it's hard to describe what word, like it's
cyber.
pixel, yeah, cyber pixels and all that.
Yeah.
That's like that's one of my aesthetics,
Uh-huh.
and it's just like I give this part an A+.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then, of course, at
A
any
plus
point in
times a
time,
million.
thank you. And then, of course, at any point in time, you can keep doing this, or you can just go into through the portals. God, I wish I could talk today. You can just go through the portals and leave, and no matter what you do or where you go, you'll always be teleported like back to the house.
That way, wait.
Hmm.
Oh, so that's both exit areas. It's
Yeah,
both
there's
exit
four
areas.
exit
Good.
areas in the corners. Yeah.
It would be great for photography too. This area.
You think so? I never actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Now, going to one of my wait.
Mhm.
I am missing a lot of places here. Now, this part. Oh, last time you showed me this part.
There we go.
Going back to my rival.
And it was so much different before this, actually. Um, and you like to go in here, you said, all the time, so you probably know this did not used to look like this. This used to be a regular dream world. And the clouds were not dark like this. It was regular clouds. Everything was really peppy. The bears didn't look, evil like this or anything. But I changed it just mainly because I wanted, a change. I felt like it'd been like the same kind of dream world for a while. But obviously the concept of it is basically what it's called. It started out as a dream world, now it's a nightmare. And that just comes from, when you're at home, what do? Obviously, you sleep. That's one of the things you do when you're at home. And sometimes you have a dream, and sometimes you have a nightmare. And so I just took from that and just I switched it. And then, of course, there's nothing that creeps me out more. Well, there's a bunch of things that creep me out, but one of the things that creeps me out a lot is obviously the Five Nights at Freddy's, like the Sun and the Moon Man, like his concept. Like it's really creepy. So I've actually had a nightmare before of being chased by that thing. So I obviously put that in the map. It's just kind of like a creepy factor. And then I changed the bears. They used to have like these blue pajamas on. They used to look really happy, and now they just kind of look like zombies. Yeah.
I've had a similar situation happen to me,
Mhm.
having a dream, well, nightmare, that you're
Yeah.
being chased by a Five Nights at Freddy's character.
Yeah.
Mine was I was getting chased by every single one of the nightmare ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Uh-huh.
So like
Ooh.
the anxiety I woke up with was
It was not pleasant.
no, and Nightmare. Oh no, I think his name was actually Nightmare. Who was the all black bear?
Oh,
That
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah,
terrified me the
yeah.
most.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He has like the teeth on his belly, and it's just oh no.
Yeah. That's a good one to have a nightmare about, I tell you.
It's just whoa, and
Mhm.
it oh okay, I'm getting anxiety thinking about it.
Don't
Oh.
think about it anymore. Please don't think about it anymore.
And there was another one. I see. This is why my mom would not buy me another Five Nights at Freddy's game, is because I would not sleep.
Mhm.
But Withered Chica, the ones with her arms,
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Dude, every single one of them has something about them. Like the cutesy versions, like, that's one thing, but they all are just nightmare fuel. Like, and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So, yeah, I get it. I get it.
ooh, T-pose and duck, T-pose and duck. I'm telling you.
Right. And then also, I didn't say this before, but like, when it was the dream world, obviously it had like the waterfall, like it was just regular water, and now it's lava. I put like the green smoke up top, excuse me, to kind of give it, the toxic like type feeling, because like having nightmares are not fun. Oh,
No,
you
and
had almost
it's
made it
like
to me.
it's actually nice that you put a nightmare in here because like you know this world it can be beautiful and it can be scary, and I think that's a perfect representation.
Thank
Like
you.
look at this map, for example, right? It's all good and everything's you know nice and cute, but when you go here it's, well, I wouldn't say
Like a
terrifying,
shock factor. It's
but
like, whoa, how did we get here?
yeah,
I wasn't expecting it.
it's like I certainly wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I thought about
And these bears
leaving.
too.
Yeah, I thought about leaving the title as like Dream World, just to kind of like give it like a scare, like when you actually got in here. But I also didn't want to do that because I didn't want to
Yeah.
like. Yeah, I wanted people to know what they were going into, because I didn't actually want someone to be like, ah, oh my god.
Now these bears like are like, I know I remember like in the dream world they looked different.
Mhm.
What were they inspired by?
So the original bears, when they were just brown bears and had the cutesy blue pajamas and stuff on, The idea comes from a game called Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. There is a there's a world that you have to find one of the dragonflies, and I think it's called like Slumberland or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Slumberland, or it might just be called Dreamland or something. But there's these bears that live there that are always yawning and falling asleep, and they help you and they talk to you while you're in their world. That is exactly where they come from, the regular ones. Now, obviously, these are like all zombified and stuff, and they're different. But the original concept came from Spyro. I used to play Spyro. Excuse me. I used to play Spyro all the time, and my favorite Spyro game was Enter the Dragonfly.
I might have to give that game a try
Mm-hmm.
just to see those bears. Like that's the whole goal of it, just to see those bears.
Yeah, of course.
What do we have next? You know what? I've been picking the places. How about you choose the next place?
So we've done obviously the house, the bath, Ready Player One, Nightmare. You've seen the kitchen and
The
everything.
kitchen.
Oh, okay. You're like the kitchen.
The
So
kitchen.
there's nothing. So the kitchen for me is actually something that I always personally wanted. I'm used to living in small, like really, compact places. I've always loved the idea of having like a more open kitchen that has an island, which I'm really happy because where I live now does have that. First time I've ever had that, and this is my mind just went to making something like that. I love marble. I love like
I
shiny,
do
like
too. Who doesn't like a good
yeah,
marble?
like shiny steel. Like I like the aesthetic of things hanging down, like decorating. I've always wanted a glass like table, and I have had a glass table, fortunately enough, and I liked it. And then of course I have a lot of fun, if you haven't guessed already, with materials and just kind of playing around with different materials. So whenever I'm making a world, like even if it may look like crap to somebody else, I'm not sure, or just weird, I love having fun with doing different like kind of realistic shiny materials. So this is kind of all how it came to be. The same thing with the oven, I took a piece from a gallery, added like primitive shapes to it to give it the illusion it's on, stuff like that. I love using primitive shapes, by the way. Primitive shapes are my favorite thing to use in creative, just hands down. Like even the
I
chairs and
like
the
the
couch,
iridescent.
and yeah.
Now these I've never really seen anyone take advantage of primitive shapes the way you have. It's
I've
like
seen.
new.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I didn't realize you were getting ready to
You
go
know
on.
what? I give you props. I give you props. Get it? Because they're props.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with primitive shapes. I have actually seen a lot of people in the past do a lot of things with primitive shapes, like Salvamira DE. I believe you've met her before. She's a wonderful creator. She's like one of the top creators, and she, also works with closely with Epic. And I remember going into her worlds a lot and seeing a lot of creative things being made with just primitive shapes, and I fell in love with that concept. And there's so many other creators too that I saw would do stuff like that. Let Cal, most definitely, he would do things as well with primitive shapes, and just so many others. Like if I had the list in front of me, I would name every single person, but I definitely would see stuff like that in the past before I became a creator, and I wanted to do stuff like that too.
It's very, very, very like clear that primitive shapes are, you know, a closely like you love it. You love
Mm-hmm.
primitive shapes,
I do.
just like I love this trail.
Which one?
It's
Oh, the drippy one.
I went outside.
Okay.
Now this you have to tell people about this. The Among Us.
I always have, and then in other worlds, obviously you've seen already that I'll have like different things, and they'll actually have faces and stuff to it. In any of my worlds, I have to have my little cactus models. Like I have to have them. I do get the base of that 100% from Sketchfab, and I just do other stuff with it once I like, get it and transfer it to my world. But no matter what I'm doing, because I'm Cactus, I'm JrippyCactuar, I have to have my little cactus people in everything that I do. This outside area changes a lot. Obviously, when I first started on the world, it was very sunny, you know, bright clouds, sun was out, like it just looked like outside and it was pretty. And then when it was the wintertime, mostly, I changed it. Everything was frozen over. It was snowy. Snow was falling, the whole 9 yards. And now here, obviously, we're in springtime. It's so rainy where I'm at all the time, like around this time. And so I changed it to whatever's going on. So I made it rainy, added clouds, so on and so forth. So it's just something little neat that I just kind of change ever so often. This model here is Totoro. Or my neighbor Totoro. I hope I'm saying that right. And I really love that anime, that movie. So I put that in here.
He's so cute.
We got good old salad fingers here. You'll never know until you look at the face. It's creepy. You're supposed to be like, okay.
I like Frosty Flame.
And then, of course, the little umbrella, just like to add on to the, yeah, it's raining. And then my little friend up here, I gave him shelter. He's always chilling up there no matter what the seasons are.
Oh, have you named him yet?
I have not. Do you want to name him?
Sure.
He does not have a name at all.
You know what? We're gonna go with Charlie.
Okay, Charlie it is.
Hi, Charlie. With the things with these Among Us, I want to hug them so bad, but it looks like they would
They'll
hurt.
hurt you. You have to be careful. They're cactuses.
Oh, I can see myself, but I'm kind of blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Among Us. Now here, cyber forest. Ooh,
Yeah, Cyber Forest fight.
oh,
So this is another fighting area, and my whole goal for this, like here in the future, I'm really hoping that they add like in the galleries like a lot of the Greek mythology stuff, because in the future I would like to change this area to a Greek mythology like type setting, like kind of how there's certain places on the map. But this is just another area where you can fight and just have something to do in the world while everyone is doing other things. This is just another option that you have. This obviously is different because in the Ready Player One, it's just regular movement, so on and so forth. This one has kind of like a zero gravity, so different things you can do. You can fly around, and if you want, because when you first enter this world, I have it to where you have to obviously get health right off the rip. I know you noticed you only have like one health. I mean, if anybody chose to, or if they wanted to, they could come in here and keep that same thing going and make it a one shot or something like that. It's really your choice. But it's just, again, something that you can do with a different theme. That way, nothing looks the same. It has like a different aesthetic and people can fight and, again, have something else that entertains them.
this is this is bro, it's like so like aesthetically, like looking up and with the rain and stuff. It's so beautiful,
Thank you.
and
I
like
appreciate that.
you have like you have like this like aesthetic to you, like with like every single one of your maps that I've seen. Like another one that I want to interview you on is the soda one, because I was actually there behind the scenes with the soda one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to be here IRL right now, like with this aesthetic and like this movement. The movement for me is going to be fun,
Mm-hmm.
because like I love flying, and especially you were smart with the flint knot, because like woo. I'm
Right,
up here
right.
now.
You want to know a funny story too? When I first started doing this, I completely had forgotten when it was like first released that I didn't put a barrier. And so there was at one point, and it didn't last long at all. It was literally like that same day I went into the world and I was like, oh my gosh. But when you use the flintlock, you could leave. Like you could get like in between the trees and stuff at the top and end up completely outside of the map. And I was like, oh my God.
No!
No, like just pulling my face, like, and I hurried up and fixed it. I really did because I was like, oh no.
Not on
Right,
my
not
watch.
today.
So like yeah, I was saying like I like that part, like it's like low gravity. But
Hmm.
here, right here, the
Spend time with your
loved
loved
one.
one. Yeah. So the idea for this part of the map is a really sweet and cute thought that comes up into my head, and it's also a reason why it's like on the wall like that, because I kind of imagine it like going to your phone. One of the best things that you do when you've had like just a bad day or you're coming home from work or anything like that is you get to have downtime and you get to talk to, if you're in a relationship, of course, you get to be with the person that you love, talk on the phone with the person that you love, so on and so forth. So in my head, when you do that, when you're with that person, just whether it be like, physically or like, far away, like distance or anything like that, you in your head you go into like a better place. And so this place was created because I had that mindset of just like where you go when you're happy and you're chilling and you're talking to like the person that you love.
Oh my god, that like I never
Ooh.
even like. Is it sad to say that like I've haven't had like a moment to like not because I don't have anyone I love. It's just like you know this is like we were on the topic earlier, but like video games, that's my escape.
Mm-hmm.
Now for you, how like what does like is that like an alternate for you? Like obviously you have your games, right? But like, is there like
Like you're
that loved
asking
one that
me.
you just like?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And it's no one's business. So I'm not going to go into
Yeah,
great not
definitely.
going to go into great
Not
detail, but
no detail.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely have. That is an alternate for me. Is to have that romantic escape, and have that moment to where I have like that downtime and I get to chill, with the person that I love. Most definitely. That's why so many things are going on because sometimes you're in bliss. Which is why I have this cute little fox. One, that's cute to look at, and two, kind of give that illusion too. Because I promise you, like when you're with the person that you really care about, and everything is nice, and you finally get to have that moment with them, it's kind of like just being indulged in like your favorite drink or something, which is really funny how I have the fox holding the drink, like just something that you
A
like to
little
do.
bit of a
You
bubbly.
you you know, I love bubbly, by the way. Shout out, shout out to bubbly. But yeah, no, like it's just things like that. You have this area over here. You can sit in any of the chairs. You can sit on the couch. You're chilling. I have these two people talking to each other. Like when you're having, you're just into your conversation with that person. You have these little areas right here that are kind of like, those little lay down like peaceful blissful little moments. You have these little cute aesthetics that's like decorative around here. You have yourself just chilling. You can sit here as well. And then you have like the fashion show. Like I put a little mini fashion show here because I know that a lot of people like to do stuff like that and kind of like have skin competition. So I put like the little wardrobes on each side. And I mean, and of course, yeah, like what you're doing right now, literally. Like I know that people really like to do that. So I added that there and gave it, more of an aesthetic and decorated it, so on and so forth. So that's what this portion of the map is just really about. It's just another little area that can kind of put you just in a, you're chilling, you're in a mood.
Now that has like such a like sentimental meaning, and for a lot of people watching, I feel like they understand that.
Hmm.
Now these right here. I've
Uh
told you how much I love these right here. Now,
huh.
have you seen something IRL that like it maybe inspired the idea?
Really, I can't. I don't really think I have now. I will say the closest thing to it, honestly, would be when I was little. Also, I used to visit my cousins, and they lived in Clarksville. There was like these little areas within my aunt's house that you could like kind of like if it was like in a corner in like a windowsill. She had like a really big white house. And I used to just like find little nooks and crannies and just like dive into them and like have my own little fort, my own little area. So I mean that'd be the closest thing that I can relate to that. But when I put all that stuff together, because I love primitive shapes, like you said, and that comes out of like the little galleries. You have like the all white gallery and then the ones where you can like kind of make like that and put like the little designs on them as like options. I just really like those, so I just kind of use them for something. And I did the same thing with this. Like this isn't like one whole thing. I put lava and like found, you know, change the size of the rocks, add like the little VFX, and like this, like yeah, that whole thing is just a the fire pit is primitive.
I love
Oop,
this concept for the fact that like I love sitting at fires with my
I
family
do
and it's
too.
just like this feeling it's like this feeling of like you know what we we have these moments together. I will cherish these moments.
Mm-hmm.
And now like that's another thing. I love all the messages that your map has, like
Thank you.
spending time with your loved ones, having times, for yourself, hanging out. Even the kitchen has a sentimental meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god, like this is cute. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
it's a boy and a girl, and I added like a tie on one, and like to give it the illusion, she has like little bow clips.
Rosa, we'll name her Rosa, and that will be Donnie.
So
Rosa
now
and
we have
Donnie.
three names you've made. They have to stay now. So Rosa, Donnie, and then my little friend out in the backyard. He's Charlie, right? Rosa,
Yes.
Donnie, and Charlie. I like it. I like
And you
it.
know what? You know what? We'll name. What's a good bird name? Um. Okay, we'll get back to the bird name, but
Okay.
Foxier,
Uh huh.
Foxy,
Foxy.
or
Okay.
or and then the bird is Tweet.
Tweet and
Just
Foxy.
Tweet.
So I'm gonna remember these names. So we have Rosa, Donnie, Foxy, Tweet, and Charlie.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Hey, I mess with it. I mess with it. Heavy.
Now, before we end this interview, is
Mhm.
there anything you want to say to inspiring creators, who like possibly like think like, what if I'm not enough for this? Like, do you have anything to say?
Well, genuinely and truly, first of all, there's no such thing as I'm not enough for this. I think that, if you have like a dream, just to make sure that at all costs you do what you can to do it. In my head, there's no such thing as anyone on the face of this earth that can't become a creator and do the things that they want to do. And I think it's important to know that you can move at your own pace entirely. It's okay if you don't know all the fancy advanced stuff right now. Everything takes time, and that's really how you have to look at it. All good things come with time, and just because you don't know something right away doesn't mean that you should think any low of yourself. I don't know a lot of stuff at all. I just go with what I know, and I just try to be better at the things that I know currently, and then learning new stuff comes with time. My head spins all the time. So if there's anyone out there that feels like they just can't, like you definitely can. And don't be afraid to put your personality in the things that you do, because I always try to like instill in people that nobody can be you like you can. And you are you, nothing less. So it's really important. Like I think my goal for the creative community is just simply putting out positive vibes, bringing out positivity, and just being like the person that really is uplifting and just wants growth, not only for myself but just for everyone else. I see a lot of negative things that go on, or I notice, I guess I should say a better way to say it, I notice a lot of negative things, whether it be people downing each other, or people, giving up, or people being mean, bullying because someone doesn't know something, or, the big money grabbers, just, so on and so forth, etc. And that's just something that I, want to make sure I'm never a part of. I want to steer away from. And my big goal is just to tell people, you're awesome, you're great, you can do it. And I I love you all. I always tell people in front, like in the beginning of my videos, always give love and respects to the creators. Creators go through a lot, and I mean that. So yeah, I feel like I talked way too much, but that would be my biggest thing: is just be you, no matter what, and have fun doing it.
Always have fun.
Mhm.
It's your art. It's your art.
Mhm.
And, with that being said, on my part, remember, everyone, love yourselves. Make sure you give your loved ones a hug.
Mhm.
And you wanna say it. You wanna say it. You say it at the end of every one of your videos.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys all. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of this, and I want you guys to have a good day or good evening, good night. Stay safe and stay drippy. Mwah.